So I want to talk about ascension because not everyone is aware that we are on an ascension journey right now as a planetary system and as humanity. So what is ascension? Well, ascension is a change in consciousness. It's a change in frequency. So we're moving from one harmonic octave into a higher harmonic octave. And in doing this, and often it's referred to as moving from 3D, third dimensional reality consciousness, into 5D, which is a higher dimensional reality and consciousness. As we move into that 5D consciousness, we are awakening and remembering the truth of who we are. We are remembering that we are God beings. We are remembering that we are multi-dimensional. So we exist in many different dimensions. We are remembering that we are all unified as one. We are remembering that love is the truth and really all that matters. We are remembering that we are creator beings, that we create universes, realities, that we have created this reality, that we have agreed to be here and experience. We agreed to be here and experiencing forgetting who we were. We agreed to lower our energy and experience the 3D reality of not remembering who we are, of living in separation from God, source, consciousness. And in that separation, living from that place created a lot of trauma. A lot of trauma that was subconscious, that we didn't realize, that trauma of being abandoned, rejected, alone. But as we ascend in consciousness, those memories start to get reactivated of the truth of who we are. And those memories are within our DNA. And those memories have been dormant for a long time. But for many people now, many people are on this awakening path. Many people are conscious of the ascension timeline, which we are anchoring into the earth. So when I talk about ascension as well, we are going through this ascension right now, and it's been happening for quite some time now. I've really only been awake to ascension from around 2020. Obviously what happened in 2020 was a big catalyst to awaken me much further on my spiritual path and awaken to ascension. But it's been going on long before that, and many other people have been awake long before 2020. And this timeline that we are on of ascension, well, it's happening here in the body. So often we do ascend when we die and we leave the physical body. As soon as the physical body dies and we leave the physical body, well, we remember, we ascend in consciousness. We know that we are spiritual beings, we are soul, we are energy. But what is truly different and magnificent and exciting about this ascension is it's happening right here on planet Earth in these bodies. We are going to be moving, ascending from the carbon dense base, very heavy feeling dense body, into the light body. So our bodies become more crystalline. We are crystal. Our bodies become more crystalline. We move more into the light body. Our chakra systems are open, are aligned. The energy from divine is flowing through us, the light. We anchor it into the earth and we ascend here. Now, the ascension that we are going through right now is happening for everybody. There is much light codes streaming in to this planet, which is helping people to awaken to memories, to remember who they are. That's happening organically, but you can work consciously with that energy, and when you work consciously with that energy, then it happens even more rapidly. So people can and will still ascend even if they are not awake to ascension. However, those that are awake to it, it's going to be a much easier process. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a difficult process to ascend. There is going to be an event that takes place on this planet. There is going to be a blast from our sun of divine light, and the souls that have chosen to ascend, not everyone has chosen to ascend, but the souls that have chosen to ascend will be protected in that blast, and they will go through a healing, and they will at the end of that blast of energy, we will remember who we are fully, and we will be on a different path as humanity. We are going to live much longer than the tiny amount of years that we live. We have been manipulated into believing that it's normal to live just 70 to 80 years and then die through all these diseases, but that's not normal, and that's not the way of the organic matrix of the organic God source consciousness structure, which is the template that we are ascending back into. So you'll hear talk of the new earth, the golden age. It is this time that we are ascending into, and for those that have not chosen to ascend, for those that have not chosen to ascend, well, they will go off onto another planet, and they will experience another cycle of having the opportunity to get to a point of ascension again. So it's not that they are lower beings than those that decide to ascend, anything like that. It's just that they have not finished learning certain lessons. They want to continue to learn through separation consciousness. So they will go onto another planet, and they will continue another cycle, and they'll have another opportunity to ascend like we are here now. Now, this ascension timeline is happening. It is already, we are converging towards that point, and it may not feel like it because there's so much chaos going on, but when you understand that that chaos is an attempt to block the ascension, it's an attempt to keep consciousness trapped in fear, in illusion, in separateness, in not understanding who they really are. But they cannot stop the ascension. It's already happening. Yes, we still have to take our steps. We as individuals, the way that we can help ascension, the way that we can really anchor that timeline in, because the timeline of ascension comes from us individually and collectively, because enough people have awoken. Even though it's not the majority, it doesn't have to be the majority, because the power that we hold as multidimensional beings is so powerful, because we are creators. We create universes, because our power as co-creators with God source consciousness is so powerful, because the light is so powerful. It's so much more powerful than dark. The light dissolves the dark. When the light sees the dark, rather than denying the dark, ignoring the dark, being ignorant of the dark, hiding from the dark, when it sees the light, the dark cannot continue. The dark is put out by the light, is alchemized by the light. So through this ascension, through us raising our consciousness, the way that we can help this, that we can anchor this timeline in, maybe more rapidly, I feel the more people that wake up, the more that do the work, then I guess the faster that timeline is manifest into physical form. However, there will be an event, and no one knows when that event is going to happen. No one knows when we're going to have the solar flash from the sun, so we shouldn't just sit back and wait for that to happen. In fact, our mission is to anchor in more light for the ascension, is to ascend right now in our consciousness, and we do that by doing the inner work. We do that by taking responsibility for the self, responsibility for clearing out the emotional baggage, the trauma that we have carried, denied, repressed, by doing our work to release that trauma, by facing it. We often think that facing that darkness is going to take us down, but it's the opposite. Facing that darkness is going to lift you up. It's going to allow you to alchemize it. You'll start to realize that your light, which is hidden under all that is not you, hidden under that darkness, hidden under that trauma, your light is so much more powerful than the darkness, and it starts to alchemize the darkness. So as we commit to the self, as we devote ourselves to the self, to doing that inner work, the shadow work, the inner child work, as we devote ourselves to that, devote ourselves to aligning with what feels good, aligning with expressing our truth, starting to embody truth, stopping holding up the lie, the illusion, then we ascend our consciousness and we help bring in that new earth. So ascension is a shift in frequency. It's a shift in vibration, and if we don't shift with the frequency and the vibration, well, you cannot survive. You will not be able to survive in that frequency. So as we do our work to unburden ourselves of all that is not us, as we connect to our divinity, embrace, accept it, it automatically dissolves those emotions. It's not painful to do the work. It's actually really quite joyful to do the work on self and to be a conscious participator in ascension. And lots of people that I talk to, they have no idea that we are ascending, and obviously if you look out into the mainstream, there's no mention of it. And there's no mention of it because they don't want you to realize that you're ascending. They don't want you to get consciously aligned with ascension. They don't want you to step into your power as a co-creator being, as divinity, because they know that by doing that, their downfall, the dark's downfall, the evil's downfall comes even quicker. So by doing the work on self, by devoting to the self, we devote to others, we empower another, we lift up the whole of humanity. So I just want to talk about ascension. I want to get ascension into conversation. I bring it into conversation a lot with my friends and family, and often they don't necessarily align with everything I'm saying, which I do understand, and I understand because it's just not anywhere in the mainstream. But it's our job. If you're watching this video right now, then you resonate with me on some level. On some level, there is a part of you that already knows that you came here at this time to ascend, to be part of the ascension process consciously. And as we connect to that, you and me, we through our energy that ripples out into the surroundings, into the people that we come into contact with on a daily basis, and we can bring this into conversation. We can start to move the focus from the fear, from the horror, and it's not to ignore the horror of what the atrocities that are played out every single day. It's definitely not to ignore it. We can acknowledge that that happens, but it's not to be pulled down in the fear. It's not to get lost in the illusion of it, and to know that right now we are spiritual warriors and we are ascending. As we consciously align with that, then we are fulfilling our mission on earth.